Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. They've ranged from building multi-person pogo sticks to hacking chocolate. Any topic that geeks hold dear. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds. The talk you're about to hear was recorded live at one of the featured Ignite events around the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm here to talk to you guys about olive oil. So olive oil has been made in the Mediterranean basin for like thousands of years. It was started in Crete and eventually was exported to Greece and to North Africa and into Asia Minor. By 1600 BC, cultivation and production of olive oil had become a mainstay for the Greek economy and became synonymous with nutrition and health in their culture. There's been a ton of studies done about the health benefits of olive oil and the Mediterranean diet. And there's so many reasons why you should be adding olive oil to your diet. First of all, it has a high quantity of antioxidants, which are in the olive oil. They're actually known as polyphenols or phenolics. And they can contribute to heart health and the prevention of cardiovascular disease. It also reduces hypertension, protects against the development of diabetes, and is great for your skin and hair. Alzheimer's disease rates are lower in the Mediterranean countries, where consumption of olive oil is higher than anywhere else in the world. There's a specific compound found in the olive oil that helps shuttle the Alzheimer's disease proteins out of the brain. So now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the olive oil process. So the olives are actually harvested when the olives are very green and unripe, actually. You wouldn't want to eat them. They're very bitter. That's when the polyphenol content is the highest. That's why it kind of stings your tongue if you ever did try it. The olives are harvested by hand mostly and gathered up into big bunches and put into burlap sacks and taken off to the mill. And when they're stored in the burlap sacks, they can sit outside for anywhere from a few hours to many days. You don't want them to sit outside in the sun for too long, because that will create mold and fungus growth, which will make the olive oil not taste very good. So after the olives are taken to the mill, they are put through a crusher, a mechanical crusher. So it takes the olives and the pit and grinds them all up, and that's what's created is called a pomace. And the pomace is then mechanically pressed, and the olive oil is separated from the pomace. So as you can see, the olive oil is super green when it comes out of this process. And that green, unfortunately, doesn't stay forever. It does settle out because there are tiny bits of the flesh that are in it that are sometimes filtered out. So the pomace actually goes into these trucks. And this is where it gets a little scary, because this leftover pomace that was taken to make an extra virgin the olive oil that was taken out of this pomace to make extra virgin olive oil, this pomace is actually sold to companies like Bertolli and Unico and things like that. And they will take that leftover pomace that's already created a beautiful product, and they will use some sort of petroleum product or a lesser quality oil, and they will use that oil to extract more oil out of that, and what's created is like basically a Franken oil, because that you cannot separate those oils anymore. And unfortunately, it's labeled as extra virgin olive oil because there is no regulatory body that it will stamp whether the olive oil is actually truly extra virgin olive oil. So the bottle of this Franken oil will say extra virgin olive oil on it, and it is actually not. So that information might seem a bit overwhelming the next time you're at the grocery store buying olive oil. So there's lots of ways to figure out the best olive oil that you're purchasing. So one of the important things is taste, and it's really unfortunate that at the grocery store you can't open up the bottles and have a little taste, and most of the bottles are dark because you do want a dark bottle. But there is some ways to be able to tell, and one of them is, like as I said, is the taste. So if you're used to eating, a regular olive oil, that you're like a Bertolli or something like that, when you taste a fresh olive oil, it actually burns the back of your throat just a tiny bit, like it's got a bit of a peppery taste, and that might throw you off at first, but that's actually the polyphenols, that's the stuff that's really good for you. So you have to kind of press through that and realize that that's what the good taste is. That most olive oil should be a combination of fruity and bitter and pungent. And those sound like kind of weird words, but they're all important for good olive oil. You don't want olive oil that's like musty or fusty or kind of vinegary. There are different types of bottles that might throw you off as well. A fancy glass bottle may not necessarily mean that the olive oil is the best that you can buy, because you're actually paying more for the bottle. So some of the best olive oils out there are in quite a simple bottle because it's the product that you're enjoying.